Guys, we haven't done this. Like Peter just said, it feels weird because we haven't done an in-person podcast like this in a little while. Yeah. At least with all four of us. I know you guys did one with Ryan the other day, but with Peter, Antonio's gone. We don't have Antonio anymore. It's kind of nice, right? We're going to have a nice, peaceful conversation.
I think we're going to have an educated discussion about football.
And no one's screaming over each other. Is that what you're saying? And not circling back to Cassano or Inter?
Cassano and Conte.
No, I'm just kidding. Antonio will be back very soon. Once he gets his vaccine, he'll be back hopefully by the end of March. He'll be all good to go, and then we'll be back to normal. But it feels good. It feels nice. A lot has changed, I think, since the last time that we've done a real podcast like this. We've got a new league leader, a team that just won against Atalanta. A match where, Peter, I don't know if you bite your nails or not, but I'm sure that you have no nails after this.
I can't lose any more hair, so. My God.
It was a little scary, no?
Yeah, I mean, Atalanta deserved that win. They dominated the game. I think Inter, I think Conte prepared the game to defend for 90 minutes, get the goal, and secure the win. And the game plan worked, but they didn't take any shots on goal. I think going forward, there's a lot of problems. I don't know if we're going to jump right into the game now.
Jump into it.
But I think this was probably, Lukaku's worst game of the season, I would say. And not to be harsh or anything, because he's allowed to have a bad game every once in a while. He's been unbelievable for Inter. But you can tell, I think when you saw him try to run by Palomino and he didn't at the end and he wasn't able to do it, just shows the game that he was going to have. He's an unbelievable physical specimen, right? And ability to be able to do anything with the ball on his feet and just run by you, and he's so strong. But today he didn't have a touch. It was poor. And you saw how when he does bad and he does poorly, Inter struggles. And there was a lot of frustration too. You saw Barella, who, he's very expressive when he doesn't like when the ball doesn't get played the right way. But it was just over and over again, Barella screaming and yelling and just going nuts. Hakimi was kind of shut down. Just going forward, Inter wasn't there.
Lautaro.
And Lautaro. So, Conte, the biggest question is Vidal, right? Vidal starting from the beginning, and Inter had been playing great without Vidal in the starting 11, and I think he put him in just to match the physicality of Atalanta. But you saw Vidal was just he's missed a step this season, and he was, I think, he didn't perform. Let's put it that way. And then 5 minutes into the second half, I like the fact that Conte made a sub.
And we all said the same thing.
Which he tends to wait till the end, but he was proactive, and he got the win. Very important win. The teams that win the Scudetto are the teams that can play poorly and still manage to get 3 points. Yet again, this is Atalanta we're talking about. This is not some half team. This is a team that can give trouble to a lot of great teams out there. So that was my take on the game.
Well, Inter won the game, so credit to Conte that won the game. If he would have lost this game, then he would have been criticized big time. I thought the approach of the game in the first half, Atalanta was putting pressure. This was Gasperini tactical. They wanted to go forward. They wanted to pressure. They had the chances to score a couple of corner kicks. One, Andanovic made a nice save. Another one, the guy hit it right by the corner, and they had somebody there in the corner. Otherwise, that ball would have gone in. So if you have that approach and you score a goal, Atalanta, then everything is well. But if you don't score, eventually you're going to get punished. So Atalanta was playing very good. I mean, they didn't let him breathe. Lukaku, I never seen the defenders. As soon as Lukaku got the ball, the defenders was right on top of him. They didn't make him turn. He has the time to stop the ball, put it on the ground, and then look right, look left, give a nice pass. Today, they didn't make him do that, and that's Gasperini. I think he did a good job defensively there. In the second half, Inter, of course, had to make we said already in the first half, I didn't like Vidal in the first half. And in the second half, right away, he didn't wait until the 70 minute. He made the substitution right away. And Inter got the goal. However you get it, you get the goal. Once you get the goal, then Inter approach was to wait for them in midfield. So they put 5 guys in front in the back. They put another 4 guys in front, and they left Lukaku up front. And they defended. They defended with everybody. They defended with Eriksson was defending. I saw Eriksson was playing, right outside. Right outside his area. He became a defender. So it turned Eriksson into also a defender. So whatever Conte said, whatever Conte is doing, he won the game, and you have to. I didn't like the approach in the second half because I thought they should have gone forward and trying to play and trying to score another goal. But Conte's approach was, hey, let's wait for them and take our chances. He won the game. He's right.
Yeah, to be honest, I was pretty impressed with how Inter kept a clean sheet against Atalanta. Atalanta, we know, a team that have been averaging almost 3 goals a game, and they played ugly. They were playing. Inter didn't play attacking football. They absorbed all the pressure, but they did at the end of the day. They got the job done. They got the 3 points. Lukaku didn't have a good game. Pretty much everyone didn't have a good game. Skriniar, the defense had a good game. Handanovic made some 2 crazy saves that any other day Atalanta probably could have won, or at least gotten a point out of it. So I give a lot of credit to Inter. Atalanta, probably unfortunate because they definitely deserve more. They did not deserve to lose. They were attacking. They did everything good. They high pressed. But it seemed like Conte's players just had that little bit extra and just kept absorbing every single attack. I thought one was going to slip in, but they got a clean sheet. They got the win, and this is what they got to do. Scudetto winning teams get those ugly wins, and that's how it has to be done. Inter, a few seasons ago, they probably would have never got 3 points, even a draw, to be honest, against Atalanta.
Impressive would not be a word that I would use to describe this Inter. It was all Atalanta. The entire match was Atalanta. Inter absorbed pressure, and Atalanta fell into their game plan. We called it almost to a T in a sense, where Atalanta, the first 45 minutes, did a very good job. I think the way that you beat Inter, when they're building out of the back, you pressure them into forcing to make mistakes. Atalanta did it a couple times, and it was working. The problem was Gasperini played with Malinowski as a striker next to Zapata. That was a mistake, because Zapata every time was getting the ball, crossing it in. Malinowski has to play behind the ball, where Pessina was playing. He should have started with Muriel. I think if you started with that, you kept the energy up, you would have scored in the beginning. By not scoring in the beginning in the first half, that was when Atalanta lost the game. You had to have scored early when you had the momentum, when you had the energy. You can't keep that up for 90 minutes, of course. Then once they let that go back, Inter build out of the back. I agree that Atalanta, they did a very good job at locking down Lukaku. Maybe that's how you stop Lukaku. Watch how Gasperini and the team defended him, because they did a phenomenal job. Even stopping the Brozovic, Barella, or Vidal from giving him the ball could be a way to stop Lukaku as well. But Atalanta, in my opinion, gameplay was wrong, and they were setting themselves up for Inter to be able to score on one of these counterattacks. They were going up, but then they weren't pressuring anymore on that. And the way that you beat Inter is getting those out of the back. So I think that was a mistake. One other thing, we said it on the live stream, and we'll be live for Juve Porto, by the way. Derun is massively underrated. He is such a key for this Atalanta side. I don't care if they didn't win. He provides such a balance. Him and Romero, those are the 2 guys that I will say tonight impressed me tremendously. Romero fits Atalanta to a T. He even had one time where he made a late tackle on Lukaku, which was phenomenal. Lukaku, almost 9 out of 10 games would have scored that play. Romero did a fantastic job. And Derun, again, doing the dirty work that goes unnoticed. So good stuff from Atalanta on that side, but it's like they went 90% or 95%. They didn't go that full 100%. And when you don't score in the beginning, you waste your energy, and then Zapata came off, and it was too late for Muriel. Also, Ilicic bothers me. Ilicic, I don't like Ilicic. If he makes one wrong pass in the first 2 minutes, he's done for the rest of the game. He doesn't have the mental strength to keep going forward and to overcome that. I don't like that from Ilicic. I feel like too many times he's putting his head down, he loses a ball, and then it affects him. He can't overcome something that he starts with. So that's my perspective.
No.
Anything else?
I just think then obviously the Inter's approach, Conte's approach, for Atalanta, it was very hard to break down 2 lines of such a well-organized team when you look at the Inter practically defending in 11. So you said it best. Atalanta, their chance was to score in the beginning and score and put Inter on their nerves. But listen, especially in Italy, what counts is the win, right? Conte Now he won 1-0. He's the hero. If he would have lost this game, he would have been the 0. So
exactly. And yes, all credit to Inter. You got to win this game, even if you don't play well. You got to win this game.
Yeah.
What are we going to next, Maestro? I see you looking at your notes.
Yeah, we can go. We can go any way you want. Let's.
You tell us.
Let's start with La Sampdoria Cagliari. You wanna talk about that? I mean, Cagliari,
What ending?
7 points in the last 3 games. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, Semplici came in, 2 wins, 1 tie. The tie was in the last minute. Last second.
Yeah.
Nainggolan from outside the area. I mean, these guys like they won the World Cup. Everybody was jumping up and down.
Exciting.
So if we look at Cagliari and we look at where is Cagliari? So Cagliari right now has got 22 points. They are 2 points from Torino. Torino is third from the bottom, but Torino's got 2 games less.
Yeah.
So they only about 4 points from coming out of that, depending also on what Torino does. So I think good job by Cagliari.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we were all laughing about Di Francesco getting his renewal
Right.
while the team was terrible.
Yeah.
And there's some top players in this team. When you look at Godin, Nainggolan, Rugani,
Joao
Pedro. I mean, these are guys that should not be anywhere near the relegation zone.
Right.
And maybe they just needed that little bit of shock
Yeah.
to try to get these guys up. But it's going to be interesting because once you're down there, unfortunately, the season, you have only a certain amount of games left, and you're going to have to battle it out. It's a very, very, it's more of a mental game more than anything else.
It's the games are exciting at the bottom and at the top, so that's it's good. It's good for the Scudetto.
There was some other. I know we posted it today. The 2 games that had 12 goals in them. They were on
Crotone Torino and Fiorentina Parma.
I think Fiorentina Parma was 3-3.
Fiorentina Parma was 3-3, where Fiorentina scored in the 90th minute to take the lead. Parma scored in the 90th minute to take the lead, and it was 3-2. And Fiorentina fought back, and in the last second, it was a self-own goal, and they they tied the game 3-3. Fiorentina is struggling big time. The next game is against Benevento, and both of them, I think they got 26 points, 26 points. So it's going to be another tough game from Fiorentina.
The commentator even said, he was like, the game is over after they scored, and then it continued. And
he said, surely the
So,
winner or
yeah,
something.
No, he said that's a winner. He didn't say surely.
It's exciting.
91st minute, dude.
It's exciting. We're seeing a lot of goals in the last few seconds. The Milan game, I mean, they score. The game was over, 95th minute, the game is over. Extra 10 seconds, and they got the penalty. Yesterday, Cagliari, Fiorentina. I mean, the games are up until the last second. They're playing hard, so it's nice to see.
Why don't we talk about Milan then, since you said about Milan?
Okay, so go ahead. Milan, they had a few new players on this. I didn't see the Milan game. I mean, I know they won 2-0. I know they had some newcomers there, right? Krunic scored the goal.
The free kick was incredible.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the goals. Very, very nice. So AC Milan, even though they were missing a few players and Ibra was dancing at Sanremo, they were able to.
He was there. He was there. He watched the
bench.
game.
Yeah.
He watched the game with them.
He was able to get the win, which was not an easy win against Verona. Verona is a very tough team. I mean, Verona is it's right up there.
Prior to this match week, Verona is the team along with Inter to get the most points against the top 7 teams or top 10 teams. I think 15 points, same as Inter, the same number as Inter. So Verona's always coming out against the big dogs. I think Milan's been one of those teams, like every team has struggled with injuries and stuff. Actually, Inter hasn't as much. Yeah. I feel like you guys haven't been missing any players.
In the beginning because of COVID more than anything else. But
Milan have been missing a lot of players with injuries and with absentees, and they've dealt with them well. I know like many people were very scared when Zlatan was not going to be there. He was going to Sanremo, all this, and then he got injured, so that's the reason why he wasn't there. But they've still been able to deal with it and cope with it pretty well, all things considered. And Tomori which is actually we're gonna do the game that we did on live stream to my dad. We're gonna do it to Peter after. I'll use your computer for that. It's fun. Don't worry. Tomori has been a fantastic signing for AC Milan since joining, which you don't expect. You don't really hear. There's always this like burden on Premier League shoulders where you say they don't create great defenders, right? And Tomori was at Chelsea. We didn't really know what to expect because we don't know him too well. And he's adapted really well, and he's almost put some of the starters at Milan a little bit under question, where you see the speed, the aggressiveness, the tackles that he puts in have almost put Romagnoli to like, wow, this is the guy that we're gonna look to or be a reference point. I think Milan need to do whatever they can to be able to sign Tomori at the end of the season.
No, for sure. I mean, his athleticism is what has really been able to shine. Now, even tactically, he's been able to fit within a Milan where everybody, would say, oh, Italy's tactics are different, especially as a defender. But as a young kid, he's been able to come in. And in Chelsea, they knew he was good. They just, unfortunately, Chelsea is one of those teams that they spend and spend and spend. And there's certain players that you buy, like a Thiago Silva, that is forced to play. So the kid doesn't have the chance to play. So I think well done to Maldini. I mean, overall, this Milan team, for the expectations in the beginning to where they are now, Maldini. Don't forget, last year there was question marks if he was going to stay or not. They were about to scrap everything.
Why are you looking at Michael?
Oh, because
why is everybody looking at Michael right now?
Looking at me.
Michael's got his head down. He's not going to change the camera to him. But
listen, impressive win versus Hellas Verona, which has given a run for a lot of teams are running for their money. Juventus tied, right? Or did they lose?
They tied.
They tied. So I mean,
felt like a loss.
Yeah, but I mean they're so defensively sound, and
attacking.
Milan able to score the
second least amount of goals conceded in the league.
Really?
You see?
Verona.
Attacking wise, I don't see them.
No, attacking.
They're one of the least
like
scoring.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The one other thing I would say is that I still agree with you on Maldini. This Milan, people need to understand, are way ahead of schedule compared to what should have been for the season that it is. They are way ahead of schedule, and they're doing amazing. The one thing I will say is that I think that we don't see the real Milan when Benacer is not there, though. Like, I still feel like when he's there, Milan's a different team. I don't know what it is. I know they got the win. I understand that. But for me, just the way that they build up, the fluidity, everything is better for Milan when Benacer is there. You really see it's important. We've said this before. Like, I would relate Derun. When Derun is not there for Atalanta, you start to see how important Derun is. And it's almost the same thing that I would relate for Benacer. When Benacer is not there, I see a little bit of holes in AC Milan.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Milan, I was really surprised. I put a draw for this one. Verona, I feel like they didn't have that bite that we expected. So I feel like they picked their games that they want to make the upset. And it looked like they played Juventus. And then they saw Milan. Maybe they didn't go all the way on that one. But Milan, it was a spectacular goal. Yeah, they got it. Krunic. But overall, Milan is still discovering themselves. They have Zlatan out, Benacer out. Their two best players, and time will only tell how much better they'll get. And they got a really big test coming up against Manchester United on Thursday. Hopefully, this optimistic win against Verona could keep them rooted, because they're hoping that they'll have Theo Hernandez back for that game, which will be a big morale boost.
I was gonna go to the game, but then you reminded me that we got Milan Man U. I think we might as well we should preview it right now. Milan against Manchester United. I'm so mad that this game could not have been like another 2 weeks later, so we could have had Antonio live with us.
And Zlatan too. And Zlatan.
What if we put Antonio in a hazmat suit? We can't
like an entire suit.
Give him a whole suit.
Put him in a hamster ball, right?
Gear. Put him in a bubble.
Yeah, the bubble. You ever seen the movie Bubble Boy? We like put him in like something like that.
And we put him in the corner.
There was
we put a separate camera.
There was a politician in Italy. He's walking around with this plastic bubble that it goes up to here.
Yeah.
He walks around like that.
Oh, we could do that for Antonio.
No, I'm serious. I'm really interested to do that. I'll do it so that we can have him here live. Can you imagine Antonio and Ryan in the same room watching this game? We begged for this.
Ryan would pop the bubble.
Ryan will be here. Ryan will be here live. It's going to be a very tough match. Manchester United just coming off a 2-0 win over Manchester City. They've done really well this season, to be honest. Manchester United, for all the stuff that we're joking with Ryan in the beginning of the year, they've really started to step it up and started to look better. Where Milan, on the other hand, they're catching them at a bad time, at a poor time.
They switched forms, it seemed like.
They did switch forms because I know in the beginning of the season we were giving Ryan like a lot of shit and telling him like, oh, Milan will smack Man U if they played, because at the time Milan were league leaders, they had everything going their way, and Man United was a little bit less. So the tides have turned in a sense. I still believe that Milan can be able to do the job against them. I think it's gonna be difficult. I'm hoping that they could remain a tie and hopefully get Zlatan back for the second leg.
They're both in second places. Huh? The second place in the Premier League, second place in the Italian League. So it would be interesting to see. But Milan has to play their best game to stay with them.
Yeah, you're right.
I saw them against Man City.
They look good.
You know, when they go up, they're dangerous. Even though their number 10 got hurt, Rashford. He came out of the game, so I don't know if he's playing or not.
Yeah. We know Ryan told us Pogba's out for that game.
So Pogba, if Rashford is out, because he could be good. Sometimes when he's on. He's really good.
All right, let's do the game, Mike.
I'll do the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Peter. So you might have seen before on our Instagram, we posted this graphic of we gave an IFTV rating. We already went through my dad's ratings. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're shaking your head already.
I don't agree with that rating.
Oh, okay, perfect. This is perfect.
That's what we need.
Okay, so again, this is not in any like particular order. Like we just chose a bunch of players. We could only choose 5. We'll keep doing this. So first one that we put, Federico Chiesa, we gave him an 8.5 out of 10, and the reason being, we said lots of doubts coming from Fiorentina, but he's embodied what it means to play for Juventus, providing energy, skill, leadership during tough times for the team. When Juve needed a spark, he's been the guy to step up. Our top transfer of the season. Give your thoughts and your rating.
Top transfer of Serie A or for Juventus?
No, Serie A.
Serie A?
In general.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think he's the top signing.
Who is
I think Hakimi.
I
think Hakimi is the top signing. But listen, everyone has their own opinion. But I think, Chiesa definitely, for a lot of the haters out there, such as Antonio, everyone said, oh, Chiesa in the big team, he's not going to perform. He's stepped up and he's been able to perform. The only reason why I don't say he's the number one, transfer is because look where Juventus is in the table right now. And I'm not blaming Chiesa, but I don't think he has such an influence if you want to say your top thing. Where Hakimi with Inter, I mean, this is a player that Inter has been missing since Maicon days, and Inter's on top of the table, and he's been able to. No, I believe.
No, I said we added that, the
Okay.
Maicon part.
Yeah,
So what was your rating for Chiesa?
Chiesa?
Out of 10.
Out of 10, I'll put 7.5.
Okay. So Hakimi, we gave an 8 out of 10. And we said, Conte got the guy he was looking for. It took a bit of time to really let Hakimi into the team, but once he did, he's provided top quality in a position that Inter have lacked since Maicon. He runs all day and has the offensive ability to create a goal at any time. A true modern fullback who's been a game changer for the league leaders. What's your rating for him?
I'll give him an 8.
8 out of 10?
Yeah, I'll agree with your rating.
Okay. Next one, Weston McKennie. We give him a 7.5 out of 10. Mm-hmm. We said, with loads of speculation being the first American at the club, Weston has provided the balance Juve's midfield has so desperately missing. Grinta, determination, energy. Just a few words to describe what he's brought to the team. In his first season, he's already become the highest scoring American in Serie A's history. The future is bright for Weston McKennie.
My rating, I would say 7.
7, okay. And then Tomori, the last one, we gave him a 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. We said you don't ever expect a young center back to come to Serie A from the Premier League and outperform the veterans immediately. But that's just what Tomori has done. With Romagnoli struggling and Kier unfit, Tomori has been a rock at the back. He has it all. Marking, speed, aggressiveness, and for a center back, he's great on the ball. We hope he stays at Milan for a long time. This was the only one that my dad disagreed with.
Really?
Well, I was not I haven't seen Tomori enough. I like to say, I think he only played 8 games.
Yeah.
So I like to see him a little bit more from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think 6.5, 7. He hasn't had many games, but when he's been there on the field, he's done well. He performed well. So I'll give maybe 6.5 for me.
You just want to be different on that one.
Why not?
Where are we going next?
Let's go to Napoli-Bologna. So the Napoli-Bologna 3-1. Again, they're not talking. Even though this would have been the right time to start talking, right? You win a game, you win the game, start talking. Osimhen finally scored, where he was a couple of months, 2-3 months without scoring a goal. Like so he finally came to the goal. I mean, Napoli, give it Gattuso a break. Right? So Napoli has got 47 points. They are 2 away from Atalanta. Atalanta's got 49. And Roma's got 51, but they got 1 game less. So if they win, they could go to 50, which is right by the 4th place. And we were talking about the players that you're missing. I mean, Napoli, if you look at they miss Mertens, Koulibaly, Manolas, Osimhen. I mean, they've been missing a lot of players. Yeah. So they already started talking about possibly Spalletti. They're talking to Benitez. They're talking to Sarri. They're talking to Mazzarri. I mean, that's not right. Mm-hmm. Let the guy coach. Is trying very hard. Let the guy finish the season, and I feel like this comes in. It comes from the president, and it's a shame, that he brings that to the team. There was something that happened during that game. The goalie, he got the ball and he went to the edge of the penalty, and he kicked the ball. And Palacio was just standing there, and what happened is he raised his leg. So the goalie kicked the ball, and Palacio went like this. The ball hit it, Palacio. He took control of the ball, and he scored a goal.
Yeah, but it didn't count.
But it did not count. So even though he never touched the goalie, and the ball was up in the air, and then he went to kick the ball, technically the rule is you're not supposed to challenge the goalkeeper once the goalkeeper he's got the ball in his hand and he's kicking the ball. So that was
rightfully taken away, right?
Right. According to the rule, yes, it's the right call.
According to you, I felt like there was something underneath that.
Well, according to me, he never touched the goalie, and the ball.
But it was the act.
Like if I have the ball in my possession,
you can't touch that.
You're gonna. Yeah. But what he did is he threw the ball up in the air. So he's got no more possession of the ball. And then he kicked the ball, and there was no foul.
I say you should be able to get it.
He hit it Palacio, and Palacio...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I say so.
Palacio, first of all, that was so stupid from Ospina. That was so, brainless. Why would he do that? He was right there. That was very likely to happen.
I agree. They should be able to count that.
I would probably give it I'd give it a goal and be like, Ospina, what's the matter with you? I'd be the I was like, why the hell would you do that? He's right next to you.
If you don't foul the guy, what would have been really funny is
that's all I got for Napoli.
If Ospina would have hit him, and he goes down for a penalty. Oh my gosh. You get a penalty for something like that. Yeah. Insigne, I think also did
he played amazing.
He outscored Cavani's goal scoring record at Napoli.
So he surpassed Cavani's Serie A goal record for Napoli.
More games, of course.
Yeah, and a lot more games. But I think he's in 6th place for Napoli all time, which is pretty good for Serie A. But yeah, Insigne played an incredible game. He seemed possessed, and I feel like he took the leadership role on because there was a lot of controversy when they tied last second to who the hell was it? They tied 3-3 against Sassuolo. Then afterwards, Insigne just hit one of the billboards and apparently said something to the team. He cursed them out or something like that.
He said this team is shit.
Yeah, he said, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, he said that. But then he got a lot of criticism on that, saying he's not a true leader, he's not a true captain. But now his performance, he seemed like
that's a good point. He came back strong. He came back strong in this game.
Well, listen, I think during a season or during a bad game, the way that they lost to Sassuolo, they tied to Sassuolo. You have the ball in a throw-in, and you throw and you lose the ball there to then give up a penalty is just terrible. You can't have that happen because then look, already Napoli's in a good position. Those are 3 points that you have to get if you want to get that Champions League. So I think Insigne yelling or making a gesture is part of it. Anybody that questions a leader that doesn't yell or doesn't scream or stuff like that, that's too much. And I think it goes down to the journalists. It goes down to the controversy that's created off the field between De Laurentiis and the coaching search and everybody trying to find a story to sell newspapers. And that's the unfortunate thing because Gattuso, what he might lack tactically, he gives 120%, 150%, and he's in it for his players, and he deserves more respect for what he's able to do. The only question that I have, and I can't really answer, I can't get a grip on it, is why do Napoli some games show up and some games they're just out of it completely? Like, I don't see why that happens if the players are behind Gattuso, and I think they are. So, like, is it just the fact that there's injuries, the fact that this team maybe mentally is not stable and Gattuso's still trying to, like, fix it, work it? But I just don't get that. I don't understand how you can go have a perfect performance and then, lose to Granada 2-0, or, tie Sassuolo 3-3 after you're winning.
Osimhen and Mertens up front, that's a big loss to score a goal. And Koulibaly and Manalas in the back, even though they didn't do a bad job. The one game they did a good job. When did they
Maximovic?
Against Juve, they did very good.
Those are important people that were missing from his team.
About Insigne, before we move on. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Peter. It's the dumbest thing in the world for people to question his leadership for saying that. It's totally fine to say your team sucks sometimes. Because guess what? It's a reality of a team. And the only reason anybody makes a saying out of this is because you've never been... If you heard what would happen inside locker rooms, I want you to go hear what happens inside a locker room if Juventus ties last second. What they would say against Fiorentina, against anybody, right? They tie against Verona, they tie against Crotone. Go listen to what some of the guys say. It's fine to say that you suck sometimes. Like you said, it's selling newspapers, number one, and it's people that have never been inside any kind of competitive environment that can't, or has too fragile of an ego to say that you suck sometimes. Because guess what? That's what happens. There's no problem with Insigne saying that.
There's things that are said that maybe you don't heartfully believe, but you're just at the moment, you're just...
It's heat of the moment.
That's sports. That's sports.
It's life.
That's what we're doing in football. We're cursing each other out.
I'm sure you've said something to your father. You love your father. I'm sure you said something to your father.
Not in football. He doesn't love it.
He actually kicked me during the football game.
Only a kick? Man, I was calm that game. If you saw what happened yesterday, me versus Antonio in football, it was bad. It was brutal. I lost my first game. Antonio beat me for my first game. I was horrible. I went 21 or 22-0, and then he beat me one game, and then I beat him the next one. So I beat him out of 3. I beat him twice. He didn't want to keep it going, but he did beat me, and it was bad.
But if you win 2 out of 3, that should be 1-0 for you.
You know what? I swear I was thinking that. I agree, because you could have a fluke.
The rules come
the
out
first
now.
time, but then the same thing with you. I beat you 2 out of 3.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I have no problem with that.
I want to move on.
I beat him one game.
You did beat me once. I lost twice now. I want to move on to Juventus because they had an incredible game against Lazio, a match that I think really could turn around the season. Before we do that, though, this episode is sponsored by Manscaped. They have become our new long-term sponsor of the IFTV podcast. So big shout out to Manscaped. Number 1, an incredible product. Number 2, they're helping support IFTV. They're helping support us. Like people said about our Patreon, we got rid of our Patreon. We're back to everything free, and that's thanks to you guys supporting Manscaped. They said you guys went crazy. We have a 20% discount code IFTV for the discount. You get 20% off an unbelievable product.
Is it all capital? What is it? Just IFTV?
No matter how you put it.
IFTV.
There's even Calcio 20, which is another one. You choose whatever you want. Get that, and we have an ad read that will go in now.
Man, this thing works. I'm telling you, if you have a beard like Marco does, man, that thing works. You don't have to spend too much money. And if you're at my age, I used it. I used to go and spend a lot of money for wax for my back. And a lot. It's expensive. I use this thing. I save a lot of money.
That's going to be the new slogan for that.
Man, this thing, it works.
You did
save a lot of money.
You did a little before and after of you cleaning up your neck.
Yeah.
I thought it was an infomercial.
I use it over here. My barber goes, man, you're so clean in the back, because I do.
Thinks you're cheating on him.
You better be careful.
The good thing is that
it comes pretty good.
The good thing is that it's just quick. It works.
Yeah.
And it's a great product.
Yeah.
So we're happy if we can endorse a great product and they want to support our content. It's a win-win for us. So guys, if you want to Manscaped, 20% off. The link is in the description. Just use code IFTV or Calcio20. Doesn't matter. They went crazy and bought so many the last time that we did one promo, so they're supporting us for the next couple of months. Manscaped will be part of IFTV's content. Let's get into the Juve game, a game that I was very excited for. The Juve started off terrible. They were 1-0 down. Correa made a fantastic move after Kulusevski lost the ball, beat Demiral, put the ball into the back of the net. The response from Juve, then, what happened? You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No.
Oh, I thought I made a mistake.
No.
Okay.
I'm following you.
Okay. Then Juve, I think, made a great reaction in terms of coming back into them. I think it was a shock to the system. And I think the game against Lazio was a game where if Juve lose that game, the Scudetto was lost. I think morally, mathematically, you start to look at where they are on the table. If you do not beat Lazio, one of the big competitors, a team that's got a very solid squad, it would have been hell. Ronaldo was benched. People would have killed Pirlo for saying, why do you bench Ronaldo, this and that. Again, missing a lot of players, a lot of, Bentancur 24 hours before the match gets COVID. Your starting midfielder is not able to play. Juve dealt with the problems well. Federico Chiesa, once again, being a key man for this team, did an unbelievable job on, I believe it was the second goal where he assisted Alvaro Morata. Chiesa's character has been the most impressive thing about him. He has the spirit of a Juventino. He's got the skill, which we never really were worried about the skill. I think we knew the skill was there. I think we were scared about him making that step. And at times at Fiorentina, I think now we look back and we say, hey, some of his players at Fiorentina were the thing that were holding him back. He did one move where he did a roulette inside the box, cut in and took a nice shot, which was phenomenal. So Chiesa has been one of the best players after Ronaldo this season, in my opinion. And then Alvaro Morata scores 2 goals. One that was great finish, and then second one from the spot. And more so, and I said this before on the Juventus stream, Morata is so important because he spreads out the space. Kulusevski has been forced to play as a number 9, which he's not. It's not Kulusevski's fault. He can't play that position. He's a winger. When we see him on the wing, he does phenomenal. He's not a striker, and it's not his fault. When Morata is there, not only is the goals that he scores, he spreads out the play and builds the team to go up. He allows that hold-up play, allows the freedom for other guys to do their job properly inside the box. So all in all, I think that this could be the turning point for Juventus this season. They have a very important match tomorrow against Porto, which we will preview after we go over this. And I think with this Lazio, with a win tomorrow, this is the comeback that Juventus need for their season.
Yeah.
But before we go to Porto, about Lazio.
I just want to talk a little. It was pretty impressive considering Juventus didn't have Ronaldo, and how many times whenever we see Juventus play without Ronaldo, they don't have that final bite, that instinct, all that stuff. It seemed like it was going to be another performance when Kulusevski messed up Correa. Great goal. But after that, I don't know. Lazio this season, they've been underperformed. I don't know if they overperformed last season and I thought of them so highly, or this season they're showing their true self, or they're really underperforming. Some stats which I find crazy. Luis Alberto still hasn't registered a single assist in over 25 games.
That's all
season. Which is disgusting. Like he's a player that's supposed to was leading.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his main job he hasn't gotten a single assist.
That's crazy.
A single assist.
When you told me that, I couldn't believe it.
I mean, I don't know who to blame here. I don't know if Inzaghi's not still. I don't know if Lazio. I don't know if Lotito has to be buying quality players. I don't know if Lazio are just underperforming. I don't know what it is. But Lazio took a dip, and they're not the same team as last season. They're not as scary as last season. Last season, I think they played Juventus 4 times, and I think they won 2 or 3 out of the times. This season, they're just they're folding, and without Cristiano Ronaldo. So I don't know. There's a lot of question marks for me with Lazio. I put them top 4 because I thought I was going to see a little bit of last season, but they look like a completely different team. Lazio, get yourself together, because I don't even think Europa League is going to be where you guys are going to go next season.
Thoughts?
I thought the Lazio, they started pretty good, and they scored a goal. I mean, they have one of the best midfielders in Italy. And then they, by the end of the first half, second half, they just they didn't do the job. And like you said, Juventus, even though there were some very important players missing from the team, they managed to come back. They managed to get a very important win, and now they got 51 points, and Milan has got 56 points, and they have one game less. And if they win that game, they go to 54. They'll only be 2 points away from AC Milan, and AC Milan, if they win that game against Napoli, AC Milan is going to have to watch out, because they're going to lose that second portion, because there's no way that Juventus Once a couple of more players come back, they're gonna. When you put them with the backs against the wall, they're gonna come through. The only thing, and I've said it before, that they're missing is at midfield. The midfield is. They're missing that guy that is really a champion. The guy that he makes the difference in the middle of the field. If they would get that, they would improve a lot.
One thing to add, and I'll let you go just quick. Rabiot, I want to give credit to Rabiot because he did a very good
Nice
golazo.
goal. Yeah, beautiful
I
goal.
thought,
It was a laser.
But more so, Allegri has said in the past that Bentancur never shoots. I think that the big problem is Juventus midfield, they never take a shot. You never see them scoring goals. Rabiot did a great play. Number one, he broke the line. He got behind the defender. And number two, he took a shot. And look, it goes in. Great job by him on that. And if he could build into this momentum, he could do really good.
Yeah. No, I think that shot was a firecracker. But Pepe Reina, unfortunately, was leaning one way, got caught in the first post. You're never supposed to get caught in your first post.
Twice.
And twice, yeah.
Yeah, twice.
But going, beyond that, I mean, Lazio, they started the game well. I thought this was going to be a good game for Lazio, that they were going to stay and compete with Juventus.
You were very happy, right?
Oh, when he scored, I was like, oh, this is looking good so far. But they missed chance after chance. And that was a problem. Fares, Milenkovic-Savic, these guys,
crossbar,
everything, was kind of missing. So at that point, Juventus just needed time to get back into the game. And they have, even though the midfield is not what it once was, you do have some quality players there. And as you said, Morata is a true number 9. He knows the timing. He knows how to make space. He knows how to be able to make the runs and wait. So a lot of times it's not just running fast. It's not just going 100 miles an hour. It's knowing when you can slow down, when you got to turn it on, when to change speeds. That's what gets the defenders confused. And if you're just going 100 miles an hour, it doesn't work. But Lazio's defense, I have to say, going back to the Bayern game, and then you see again this Juventus game, it's just been a disaster. You got guys that they can't move the ball with the ball at the feet. They're trying to play the ball through the goalkeeper, and they're just confused all the time. But listen, credit to Juventus. They came back from 1-0 versus a tough opposition. They scored 3 goals. They win the game. And Chiesa, as we said, I don't rate him the number 1, but he is a high, number 2 transfer of the season. And I think what's great about him is he's got great skill, but he's so feisty, that guy, man. He doesn't he wants to win every little ball. He gets into the dirty, like if there's mud over there, he'll go jump in the mud. I know what type of kid he was, like that's Chiesa.
Exactly.
So that's good to see, and I'm happy to see as far as the Italian national team, because there's a big summer that's coming up, and we need leaders and guys to show up.
One thing, the VAR. We got to talk about it. The handball. The only reason why we don't remember it is because Juventus won 3-1. It almost escaped our memory. A clear penalty as you would get. Again, first thing, it's not saying that we think that it should be a penalty. The rules state, doesn't matter about how close you are, doesn't matter this and that. This year in Serie A, those have been given every time. The rule says that is a handball. Do we all agree that it should have been a penalty kick on that challenge from Holt?
Absolutely.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. But meaning like the guy's running and the ball bounces off his hand, whatever. But if he's got it extended, Chiesa's got a chance to get on the goal, it's a penalty.
And now I'm not saying I agree with the rule, but I'm just saying that the rule states that that's a penalty. I just want to make that clear. We're not saying that we agree with the rule, but the rule, according to the rules, that's a penalty. And how do you not check the VAR?
No, because
come on,
going back to what we've talked about
it's
all
crazy.
the time with these referees, their arrogance sometimes. He said, I saw it, ho visto. And he didn't want to make...
that's a disgrace, though.
Yeah.
That's a true disgrace, because it could come down to that, a win, a penalty being very important in a race. It wasn't this week, but that could have been the storyline of everything. Imagine that happens to Inter when they play Juve, and then Juve go on to win the Scudetto.
It's happened before.
I'm trying to manifest it.
They haven't understood how to use the VAR. The VAR is an instrument to help you make the correct call. At the end of the game, the most important thing is that you made the right call. End of story.
Agreed. 2 more points before we go to the Porto.
The last thing with Lazio.
Yeah.
You think the run for Champions League is over?
I do.
They have 43 points. They're 8 points from Roma from Juve, 51 points.
In my opinion, the best 4
8
teams.
8 points away.
In my opinion, the
It's
best
too
four
far.
I think it's too far.
the best four teams are Inter, Juve, Atalanta, and Milan. Those are my four teams. Those are my four teams where I say that those guys deserve to be in the Champions League, personally. No, for me, no. 2 more points before we preview the Porto game real quick.
Okay.
I want to say I was wrong about Federico Chiesa. I'll say it right now. I didn't think that he was needed on Juventus. I thought he was an excess buy. After seeing the terms, I did think that they were very favorable terms for Juventus, but he has completely proven me wrong, and he was a great signing for Juventus. One of the main reasons I didn't like Chiesa was, number one, the players around him at Fiorentina, I think they made him look worse, now all things considered, now that we could look back. But number two, it was more so about Kulusevski, and I think that part I was right about. Kulusevski and Chiesa are the same type of player. They play in the same position. One outdoes the other. So I thought getting Kulusevski, we already had Kulusevski, and then getting Chiesa on top of that, I thought was a waste of resource that could have been used to the midfield. I still do agree with that, where I think it could have been used elsewhere, but Chiesa has been phenomenal, so you have to give credit to them for getting Chiesa. I'll say I was wrong about that one.
What's interesting also is Chiesa sometimes going onto the left and cutting in, a la Ronaldo. So if he learns that, that's going to be very, very lethal for Juventus and national team going forward. So
Second thing, real quick, Pirlo. I think people are still too harsh on Pirlo. And just to give a little bit of perspective, I don't think it's Pirlo's fault. In a sense that, he's in a position that's very difficult. If you think about a first-year coach, right? The guy was coming in to be the U23 coach. He's put into a position where he's got to coach a team where there's only failure. You win a Scudetto, nobody cares. Nobody will care if they win another Scudetto. They'll never say anything crazy. You get knocked out of the Champions League, you're the villain. You're the guy that, oh, wow, look, same thing. So he's set up to fail in a season where Juve didn't do enough off the pitch to get better players, in my opinion. And with better teams, because Inter, Milan, Atalanta, they're all much better than they were in previous seasons. And he's been in a year with COVID where they have had so many injuries. He has never consistently had a starting 11 that's a true Juventus 11. And I know there's not an excuse. There's a difference. Every team has had to deal with injuries, right? Almost every team has had to deal with injuries. But the other coaches have much more experience in dealing with them. It's Andrea's first year, and he's got to have all of this on top of him. Cut him some slack. He's not that far off.
yeah, he's not far off. But I think also the players that he has does help him. I understand the injuries and whatnot.
They're overvalued
But
a little bit.
He's got to stop trying to reinvent the wheel.
I agree.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like, he's trying to try all these different players in different positions. Just play the game simple. You have the players that can change the match at a flip of the coin. Just stop trying to change football. Do it cautiously, I guess.
I agree.
I think that's my only say.
I think that sometimes he's too stuck on the 3-5-2 where he's like forced to play that. No, even if you don't have the same players, he's forced to play that. But having said that, Michael, Porto.
Yes. So we have the probable formations. Juventus must win game tomorrow. Win or go home. Pretty much. They're playing with a 3-5-2 formation. I'm going to read it off right now. With Szczesny as a goalkeeper, with Derlik, Bonucci, and Sandro. So good news with Derlik. There was a lot of reports saying if he'd make it or not. So he's most likely going to start. Then Cuadrado, Chiesa over there on the wing. In the wing positions with Rabiot, McKennie, and Artur in the middle, and Morata and Ronaldo. I'm really happy to finally see Morata playing where he belongs, unlike Kulusevski playing in a position that he doesn't belong. And Ronaldo over there, he's going to be the X factor. He's going to be a must-win. And I feel like Ronaldo was really rattled by how Porto was like, we're messing with him a lot. Even the social media, I feel like he's going out for vengeance tomorrow, and there's going to be a big performance from Juventus. They're definitely going to perform, I think. Gaetano?
I like the lineup, except I would probably have Danilo in there.
He's suspended.
Oh, he can play?
Yeah, he got the accumulated.
So that's I like the lineup.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that this is the best lineup that you could possibly get. The midfield will be key. I think getting Artur and McKennie back into the best with Rabiot, who had a good performance in the last match, is key. This midfield leading that way. You got Morata and Ronaldo back. Chiesa is on form. Cuadrado's amazing when he's there. De Ligt likely back. Chiellini will be called up. They have everything to win. We should say they lost 2-1 in the last match. They got that crucial away goal. Without that away goal, it would have been almost impossible. Not almost impossible. It would have been very difficult. Porto is a team that, yes, they'll probably sit back. Pirlo said, if they try to put a bus in front of us, we're going to make sure we move that bus. Morata said afterwards, don't give up on us. We're not a team to give up. 1-0 puts Juventus through. It's not probably going to be a high-scoring match. I feel very confident. I think that Juve understands what's at stake. This is the season. This is the season. You cannot go out against Ajax, out against Lyon, and out against Porto now. It's not possible. Tomorrow, test the character of Juventus. Tomorrow, test the character of every player that's in the squad. Tomorrow, test the character of Pirlo. And tomorrow could be the match that turns Juventus' entire season around. Yeah. They still have everything to play for. But tomorrow, you must win and you must go through.
Yeah, I mean, Pirlo has a tough job tomorrow because even though, Juventus, you don't have to win by a lot. With a 1-0, you pass through. But it's the attention to detail. It's because Juventus, that game versus Porto, if you remember, they gave up the 2 goals, one in the start of the first half, one in the start of the second half, the fluke goals. And you cannot afford another game that you get distracted, right? Or that you're not on 100%. So Pirlo, it's important that he has these guys ready. I think with Ronaldo and with these guys knowing the first result, they're going to come back in the second game and they're going to be able to put the maximum performance and put that nail in the coffin of Porto. So listen, Juventus, I like the midfield, as you said. Quadrado, for me, is an unbelievable player, man. Every time I watch him more and more, the guy is so quick, makes a decent cross. He's back and forth. So I like to see what Juventus are going to do, and I think 2-0. If I want to say a result, I think Juve is going to come in with a 2-0 result versus Porto.
I take that too. 2-0, goal from Chiesa, goal from Ronaldo.
Okay. No, I think Morata is going to score anyway.
I wanted to say Morata too.
I called them and we spoke about it, right? I gave you my result. It was 2-0 for Juventus. Yeah.
I don't think I gave it. I'm going to say 3-0 Ronaldo hat-trick.
Ooh, yeah. I let you go vibes.
I think he's possessed. So he's going to go crazy. He's going to go off. Especially because he's from Sporting and Porto's a big rival from there.
From your mouth to God's ears. What else we got? Roma? What else you got written down over there?
We got Roma that beat Genoa 1-0. And Roma is still in fourth place. Yeah. And they are 51 points, tied with Juve. For fourth place. So I think that Roma is doing a good job. And Dzeko did not play. Hopefully he's going to come back this week. Maybe he should be on the field. But, without Dzeko, and they're still winning games, struggling, but they're winning. And that's important.
And still all the criticism with Fonseca, but they're fourth place. We're talking about all the injuries they got. Smalling's finally back. He's getting consistent minutes. He's been out for a while. We know that. So,
the fight with Dzeko.
There's just so many factors, and maybe a lot of people, even us sometimes, I feel like maybe we're a little bit harsh on Roma, saying like they're such a difficult piazza to coach, or they have such fans that are always demanding the most. But fourth place in the Serie A competition right now, that's been one of the most competitive in the past decade. I think that's extremely impressive. I would not say they'd be fourth place if you told me. I think I would have assumed where they'd be 6th or 7th place. But
with the way people are talking about them.
With the way people are talking about them and how good this season is in general, how competitive it is.
I understand what you're saying.
I think Fonseca, like we said, a lot of Roma fans are complaining about him is because versus the top 7 teams, they haven't performed well. But at the same time, I think that's more of him maybe not making that tactical adjustment. Where maybe an Italian coach, look at Conte, to get this win versus Atalanta, he changed his tactics completely and defended and parked the bus. Whereas Fonseca maybe is not that Italian style. He says, no, I'm going to play this game the way I want to play, and I'm going to be attacking. And you get caught sometimes. You get beat when you verse these top teams. They're going to catch you. And, Roma, if you look at their roster, I don't think they're better than, Inter, Juve, Milan, you want to say, and Atalanta. We know what they're doing. So, it's okay to lose to these teams, I think. And, they're in fourth place right now. And they're in the running for the Champions League.
Very well said. Guys, that's it. Nothing else?
Udinese won against Sassuolo 2-0. good job by DePaul, Llorente, and the coach. I think is doing a fantastic job. They're getting very valuable points and wins.
Even the bottom, Crotone, got a win.
I was just about to say that.
Crotone beat Torino 4-2. They still got a lifeline, but
the bottom relegation table is like a few points away, so it's not like if Crotone gets a win next game, they're gonna switch positions, so they're not gonna be dead last. If you guys didn't see Unas's goal, by the way, definitely see it. He turned into Maradona. He passed 3 players, was on the line balancing, and just cut and shot top left corner. Amazing from Crotone. They just got. What were you
I was gonna say, did you see Serse Cosmi's
That looks like you sometimes. Yeah. That's why
he's a DJ too.
We talked about this.
I've seen that before. You're missing the glasses.
Yeah, I gotta get the glasses. We gotta get a nice sponsorship from a glasses company.
True. Del Piero's got a glasses company.
There you go.
Can we hook that up?
We're gonna.
Come on, Del Piero.
Anything else?
Let me see over here.
Okay, that's it.
I wanted to add something, but it wasn't. I just want to say a quick thing right now, Gaetano. If I ask you, crap, you saw it. I'm gonna ask Peter. Peter, if I had to ask you, in the top 5 leagues of Europe, who scored the most goals as a Brazilian player? Who would you say?
In general?
In general, this season.
This season.
Anyone, not just in Serie A. Top 5 leagues.
Okay.
What would you say if I asked you?
Gabriel Jesus.
Maybe Neymar or whatever.
No, Gabriel Jesus.
Gabriel Jesus, right?
Come on, man. You should be smarter than this.
João Pedro. Who is it? Is it really João Pedro?
You think you would say it if it was Gabriel Jesus?
I know.
And I'll tell you, you're wrong. João Pedro for Cagliari, that's trying to stay up in Serie A, has the most goals in the top 5 leagues as a Brazilian. How many goals does he have? 13.
Wow.
Guys, make sure you follow @Calcio on Instagram too for content from all around the world.
For the top 5 leagues @Calcio. Marco said it.
Wow. On Instagram.
And it's amazing Serie A this season. We're getting ready for a Champions League, for Europa League. Good luck to everyone, to all the Serie A teams in Europe this week. It's gonna be a busy one, and hopefully some positive results.
Guys, thank you for everybody that was watching. Make sure use code IFTV or code Calcio20
for how much?
For 20% off your Manscaped products. They support us, you support them. That's how it works. Guys, as always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon.